Welcome back, hunters! This is the second of 3 video tutorials for vampire hunters. Today, we will introduce the core mechanics and rules. The next video will cover advanced concepts. Attacks are a core mechanic, and they are simple and fast. Attacks start with a valid target. For melee attacks with a range of 0, the target must be in the area of the attacker. Line of sight is automatic. Magenta can target the warrior with her stake. Hunters can also make ranged attacks. The range of her crossbow is 1 to 2 areas, so one burrower is too far away. She must have line of sight, so check that the straight line between the line of sight markers is not blocked. This leaves 2 thralls in crossbow range and with line of sight. Line of sight is not blocked by miniatures, only walls and closed doors. Now Magenta can make attack rolls. The stake rolls 3 dice and hits on a 4 or more. 1, 4, and 5 does 2 hits to the warrior. It has no shields, so it takes 2 wounds and is destroyed. The crossbow also attacks with 3 dice and hits on a 4 or more. 2, 3, and 6 does 1 wound to the thrall and kills it. Now we will show examples of how this core mechanic is affected by armor, tougher targets, and weapons with different properties. But at the core, you can always check range, line of sight, roll the right number of dice, and hit if your roll is equal to or greater than your accuracy. Not all hits are converted to wounds. The burrower's shield absorbs the first hit, so here it takes no wounds. Shields do not get damaged or removed. With the better roll, 1 hit is blocked and 1 hit wounds. The burrower is destroyed. Even when hit, the target might not be destroyed. Here, Magenta only does 2 wounds, but the Upir has 3 health points. The Upir takes 2 wound tokens, and someone must get 1 more hit to destroy it. Many attacks can be improved by spending focus. This must be announced before rolling the dice, and the focus is lost, regardless of whether the buff is needed. If Magenta had done this on her roll against the Upir, a reroll may have helped get 3 hits. Crafted weapons often show the fragile icon. The breakage die is rolled with the attack, and the weapon is lost if the break icon is rolled. Fortunately, the hits are still applied. Here, Magenta does 2 damage and destroys the warrior, but she must discard the weapon card. We have only seen attacks against vampires, but all attacks share this core. Boarded window tokens have health and shield icons, an indication they can be attacked. Using a weapon that breaks window boards, Magenta makes a mighty roll that easily opens a room to sunlight. This would instantly destroy most vampires in the room if it were day. Finally, vampires attack the same way as shown, although hunters are armored. In its first attack, the Upir rolls poorly, scoring 1 hit. Magenta takes no wounds, but her armor is weakened and the token is flipped. A second attack comes with a bigger roll. All 3 hits are ignored, although this time her armor token is discarded. Later, she fights an Upir again. It's night, and the Upir has gained an extra attack die. The 2 6s are hits and also trigger the special power, totaling 3 hits on Magenta. With no armor, these hits become Magenta's first wounds. The Upir would also heal if it were damaged. Many actions reward the hunters with focus. For example, in the attack examples, there were focus icons on the vampire ID cards. Hunters take these focus points when the vampire is destroyed. Hunters also get focus for pulling levers, saving people, etc. There will always be a focus icon on the card or token to remind you. Focus can be spent to power up attacks, build new weapons, and use abilities, but you might not want to spend it all. In competitive games, the player ending with the most focus is the winner. In campaign games, focus is used to pay for new equipment and skill training between missions. Hunters make agility, faith, and mind skill checks for many reasons, normally triggered when resolving a card. Hunter ID cards show how many dice are rolled for each type of test, and the other card shows the value to be rolled. Here, Magenta uses 2 dice for a faith test to prevent an elder's influence by rolling 4 or more. She passes. The den seems unpopulated when the hunters arrive. If a hunter stops moving in a room with an encounter token, their turn is interrupted while the token is resolved by placing all the vampires or tokens listed near the location markers. Here, we place a warrior at location 1, a thrall at location 2, and another thrall at location 4. The color coding is used to scale the game to the number of hunters. Other encounter tokens place levers, trigger terror events, and ambushes. When hunters activate, they can take 3 actions from this list. Each hunter activates once per round and must use all their action points or lose them. Now, we'll give detailed examples of some actions. Magenta starts to move. The move action gives her 2 movement points, and she starts by moving 2 areas. 1, 2. She moves again, using 1 movement point to open a closed door, and 1 to enter the next room. Her third move first takes her to an area with an open tunnel entrance. This is just like an open door to the tunnels below. So she uses the second point to step down and is in the in area of the tunnel. Exiting the tunnel is the same. Just move from the out tunnel area to a den area with a tunnel access token. Encounter tokens are flipped when you end movement in a room with 1. Magenta is about to enter such a room. The door has been opened already. That does not flip the encounter token. She moves 2 areas and her move action is over. Now the token is flipped and vampires are placed at locations 1, 2, and 4. Magenta could use just 1 movement point and stop in the first area of the room. That can be less risky sometimes, as you don't know if you will be completely surrounded. If you end your move in an area with a crate, you automatically hide behind it, and vampires must attack and demolish the crate before attacking you. There are some simple actions that are automatic. You just need to spend an action in an area with the token. For example, pulling a lever and saving humans, which give you focus and are often linked to objectives. You must dig free of debris before you can perform other actions. Search allows you to draw an item card. Areas marked with an eye icon cannot be searched, and dark rooms need a flashlight. Item cards must be equipped in an inventory slot or discarded. Some items are ready for use, and some need you to spend focus point to assemble them first. During the day, encounter tokens spawn sleeping vampires. At night, all vampires are awake. This makes quite a difference. Sleeping vampires do not affect movement. Hunters can just creep past them, but awake vampires slow the hunter down. If there are awake vampires in your area, all movement activities, moving out of the area, opening a door, cost 2 movements, the whole move action. Attacking a sleeping vampire is easier. Hunters can re-roll any of their attack dice. After the awakening, all vampires are awake, but hunters can accidentally awaken a sleeping vampire earlier. Attacking with a noisy weapon, a failed attack, and new vampires entering the room all wake up every vampire in the whole room. All hunters begin the game with a special ability on their ID card. For example, Magenta is not trapped by debris and never has to dig free. Hunters can also learn more abilities during the campaign. There is no cost to using abilities unless it is clearly stated on the card. Vampire activation cards make the vampires move and attack. There are 2 decks, and night cards make the vampires more active at night. The cards are unique, many with special instructions, but they follow a simple formula. The green icon is for stalking vampires, meaning vampires with no hunters in their area. The red icon is for fighting vampires who already have a hunter in their area. The last icon means move. Section 1. Special events. Often negative, sometimes positive, the card starts with something special happening. Here, a guardian appears, waking both vampires in the room. Section 2. Vampires move to the current hunter. Here, vampires that are not in an area with another hunter, stalking vampires, up to 2 areas from the current hunter will move to the current hunter. The warrior is not alone. The burrowers are too far away, so only the thrall moves. Section 3. Attack the current hunter. Initiative order makes the guardian attack first, then the thrall. Magenta takes 2 wounds. Section 4. General movement. Stalking vampires 2 or more areas from the nearest hunter, move 1 area towards the nearest hunter. You can see how this makes the distant vampires move closer. There is far more information on the activation cards in the rulebook. Join us in the next video, Advanced and Optional Rules. Good hunting!